sister girl on films. You don't wanna miss a thing, better stay tuned in. So lay back, get into the vibe, in the mood. Real reviews from a sister's point of view. Trailer reactions, movies and TV. So entertaining and authentic, believe me. So roll that footage, I'm ready to chill. Time to hang out with my sister girl. Hey, sister girl on films. Hey, sister girl on films. Hey.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl, Sister Girl on Films. And as you can tell by the title, y'all, we are back for episode 3 of season 2 of P-Valley, The Dirty Dozens. So if you're interested in my thoughts and opinions on this episode, then stay right there. We're going to get right into this review. So y'all, before I do my recap and review, let me give a big shout out to Miss Misha _IMO, who is an amazing YouTuber. She reviews and recaps reality TV, scripted series. She does story times. She is just absolutely amazing. She's super supportive. She gave me a shout out on one of her lives for my episode 2 recap and review. So go over to her channel, support her. When I tell you she's amazing, she's amazing. So go check out her channel. I have it linked in the description below. You will not regret it. And then also, if you are here because you saw her mention me on her last live, comment that below as well. And hello, and thank you for supporting me. I love y'all. All right, enough of my shenanigans. So timestamps are below. So if you want to just skip past my rambling and then just go to whatever storyline you want to hear me talk about, please feel free. I ain't mad at it. If you're going to stay for the whole thing, well, hello, how are you? I go from the most interesting storyline to the least interesting storyline. So sometimes it might be all over the place. That's what I do. 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 I do. The least interesting storyline, again, second week in a row. Big up to you, raggedy ass Corbin. Can't stand him. So Corbin still trying to get the pink. Ain't gonna get the pink. Autumn ain't trying to hear it. Uncle Clifford ain't trying to hear it. That's that on that. Let's move on to Andre. So Andre is still in Chucalissa, tying up some loose ends with his godfather's estate and all the things. But it seems like Andre might have some bigger fish to fry, because now he has kind of got it in his mind that he might possibly be able to run for mayor. Now, I said that in my last episode that might be where they're going to go with Andre's storyline. And it seems like they are more leaning towards that direction. Corbin is all about it. He's like, I will foot the bill. You know, you could run for mayor. And really, they kind of feel like if they can run for mayor, if Andre can run for mayor, then he can kind of get in front of Autumn, who, if she does not sell the pink to them, will end up being probably one of the most powerful people, not just women, in Chucalissa. Because, is it Chucalissa? Chucalissa. It's a fictional town, okay? It doesn't really exist. But in Chucalissa, because, again, the pink is on some really valuable real estate, and ain't no way they can build a casino if the pink is still up and operating. So that is kind of their little scheme, Andre and Corbin. I feel like now that Andre kind of sees all the things that his godfather was doing, and he sees the opportunity to have more power and prestige and notoriety in the city, especially if he becomes the mayor, I feel like he's going to really pursue this and maybe not want to go back to his wife, because he ain't really love her in the first place. Okay, halfway supporting her. She a whole doctor and you at home doing nothing. Her daddy is offering you a job at a firm and you don't want to take it. So maybe he do need to become the mayor of Chucalissa and do something with his time. But I got a feeling he's going to have a couple more candidates, you know, on the ballot. So he might not just be a shoo-in. He might want to relax. The next storyline I'm going to talk about is Patrice, honey. Patrice had a lot going on in this episode. She's kind of becoming like our anti-hero, which I like and also don't kind of like. So we first see Patrice as she is very rude to her granddaughter, Terricka. Told Terricka, you look just like your mama when you're lying. Oh,
you want to get fucked up. You want to get...
Poor Terricka. She was just trying to provide for her family and try to do it under wraps, trying to put on her big girl panties when she's just a baby. And Grandmama Patrice, which I didn't like that she made Terricka call her that, because I'm pretty sure she ain't never been no grandmother to her, but you want her to call her that. That's why she our anti-hero, because she got some qualities about her, because she don't take no mess from the men in that town, but she's very nasty and rude and disrespectful to her family, and I just don't like her. So they had a chicken banquet dinner fundraiser with all the pastors in this little bitty town. There was a lot of pastors. I guess they were from surrounding towns, because I know it wasn't that many churches in that little bitty Chucalissa, but it could be. But you know, they were there, and Mayor Kyle was pandering to them, and the Reverend of Patrice's old church, I forget his name, child, he the main one licking boots, and we gonna have all the congregation back you, Mayor Kyle. And Patrice was pretty much like, no, we're not gonna have the people of this town fall victim to this casino coming here, and then they're gonna be the ones to suffer. You think they gonna give them jobs? They ain't gonna give these people nothing, and they're all around here trying to get this casino built, and it ain't gonna benefit y'all none. Y'all steady trying to make these white folks happy, and for what? And I said, okay, Patrice, okay. Trying to satisfy these whiteites, and they ain't even thinking about y'all. And she was killing her little hot pink suit, and then she had the nerve to insult the chicken. So like, who made this dry ass chicken? Patrice, sit down.
And who made this chicken? It's too damn dry.
But all of that showboating and running off at the mouth bit her in the tail at the end, because by the end of the episode, Mayor Kyle got the sheriff, and they pulled up and was like, hey, you violating our social distance ordinance, you gotta shut it down. No church services with more than however many people, and you gotta safely social distance. And then so the sheriff was like, it looked like you pissed off the wrong neighbor. And Patrice said, you shut your overseeing ass up. I hollered. Because she will come with it, okay? And she said, and if I mess with the wrong neighbor, then Mayor Kyle, you effing with the wrong bitch. I said, ooh. Y'all better quit playing with Patrice. See, I like her, but then I don't like her, because she wrong. She wrong for how she did Mercedes. She wrong how she be talking to Terricka. She all about herself, but then she don't take no mess from nobody. So I have a very high suspicion that Sister Patrice is also going to be running for mayor, honey. So far we're going to have Mayor Kyle, Andre, and Patrice. And quiet as kept, I think Uncle Clifford might end up throwing his hat in the race too. Or Autumn, one of them. Anyway, so Terricka's story this episode. First of all, I was very surprised that we got so much about Terricka this episode, but I was glad that we did. So we see that Terricka is basically running her household with Shell. Going to the food bank ran by Patrice, driving all crazy, getting all this extra food because they basically ain't got no food in the house. So she's just trying to make it the best way she can. And so she's still trying to reach out to Mercedes. And it seems like she's more open to having a connection with Mercedes, but she's not quite sure how to do it. And she's not quite sure how to ask for help, because I feel like on one hand, she's still really upset that her mother, her birth mother, was never really there for her. But on the other hand, she wants to have a relationship with her, because I really feel like she really loves Mercedes, and she sees a lot of herself in Mercedes. And I thought that their story was just kind of sad, because Terricka overheard Shell and Mercedes arguing, and she found out that, you know, her father never wanted Mercedes to have her, and he basically made Shell promise on his deathbed that she would take care of Terricka. And so Mercedes was always under the impression that Shell was just keeping Terricka away from her out of spite, not knowing that that is what Terricka's father wanted. And even though Mercedes tried to explain to Terricka that, you know, she did want her, but Patrice was stopping her from having her baby, you know, her father and so many other people, but now she wants to have a relationship with her, and Terricka just don't know how she feel about it. And that's okay. You know, it'll take her a little while to warm up to Mercedes, but I think once she sees how hard Mercedes is working to try to make a better life for herself and for Terricka, I think she'll come around. So I was happy we got to get a little bit more of the Terricka, Mercedes, and Shell story. It was really good. It was heartfelt. I was here for it. All right, so let's switch gears a whole lot, okay? We talked about our B characters. Now let's get to the main characters. Child, this Roulette, honey. Perfect name for this character, okay? Because she is unpredictable, okay? You can't tell how she gonna land one way or the other, child. So we start off the episode with, again, shout out, okay, to the cinematography, the direction, and the editing, and the writing in this episode. Oh my God. So if you don't know, each episode, for the most part, has a different writer, director, and as I started to dig and found out, might have a different cinematographer, a different editor, all of that stuff. The team around this episode did such an amazing job. Like, this was such a good episode, and it really felt like it was very much in line with what we got in season 1. And so I really loved this episode. And the opening shot with Roulette, when she was given the private dance, the way that it was lit up, and you had like the clouds at the top, but then you had like the dark red around. It was just, woo, such an amazing shot. So the opening scene with her, and you know, she ends up breaking one of Uncle Clifford's rules, which we will see that this ain't gonna be the first time in the episode, but she ends up giving some sloppy toppy to this dude, even though she knows she's not supposed to be doing it. So already we know Roulette is gonna be a problem. So after Roulette breaks one of Uncle Clifford's biggest rules of no sexual acts in the club, her and Whisper do this amazing routine as usual. The two of them together is just amazing. I don't know who decided that the two dancers that actually are like their body doubles should perform together, but it was an amazing idea because I love to see them dance together. Whenever you see Roulette and Whisper together, Roulette is always in red and Whisper is always in like this white, kind of like icy blue color. To me, it symbolizes like the spiritual side and like the air, and kind of like that very almost like angelic. Like even she has a tattoo of like angel wings on her back, versus you have Roulette, who always wears like this really dark red lipstick, her red and black hair. She's always in red, giving very much like very risky, very, again, roulette, a roulette table. You got to bet on red or you got to bet on black. Like, it's just those little details that I really love about this show. And we see that color theme kind of come up a little bit later. I'll get into that a little bit. So I really love the juxtaposition of those two characters when they're together. But while Roulette is on stage, she looks Uncle Clifford dead in his eye socket and takes her top off. I said, what? And as he's telling her to basically put her top back on, that heifer Big Bone gonna cut his microphone off. He's like, bitch, you better cut my mic back on. She was like, calm down. And, you know, Uncle Clifford, you know, let Roulette know that's rule number 1,854. You know, he got a bunch of them. Don't be showing your titties on the main stage. And so she's like, I'm sorry, Uncle Clifford. Heifer don't mean it. She'll do it again. And so later on, we see Roulette getting out somebody's car, because people are now coming up to the club requesting the girl with the DSLs. If you don't know what that is, look it up. But people are coming up there to ask for the girl with that. And so now she's basically kind of turning tricks on the side and doing it through the pink. So that'll be interesting to see. And the last shot we see of Roulette is she sees Big L and I forget Gidget's boyfriend's name, but they drop a box, and somehow from across the street she's able to see that it was Oxy. So I don't know if she was able to read the label, but the way the shot was, they tried to make it seem like she could see the label. That was like one of the issues I had with this episode. I was like, there's no way she would have seen that from all the way across the street. But either way, she knows some shady business going on. So we'll see how that storyline plays out, because Roulette is unpredictable. Let's get to Uncle Clifford. Y'all was so happy that we finally got to see Uncle Clifford, but actually it is a dancer by the name of Bentley Rebel, who is amazing, who was the body double for Uncle Clifford. Baby, it gave us a performance that I was not expecting, and I was so happy to see it, because you know Uncle Clifford always making his ass clap on stage, but he don't never get on the pole. But baby, when he went and dropped it low, I said, okay, pick it up slow. I love to see it. It was such a good routine. So that was like the highlight for me in this episode, quite frankly. And then also I just love the scene when he was reading the postcards from Little Murda. Like, y'all, somebody send me a postcard. I told y'all this is a love story I didn't know that I needed, but now I do. Somebody better send me a postcard. That's sweet. With a little handwritten note. They don't do that no more. Anyway, I love that little love story. But that's all that really went on with Uncle Clifford this week. Not a whole lot. He just got to allow his hands with that damn roulette, because she gonna be trouble for the pink. Okay? Because once word get around, okay? Once word get around that she out here turning tricks out of the strip club, oh, Uncle Clifford gonna flip his shit. Anyway, so speaking of Lil Murda, I just love Lil Murda, honey. So Lil Murda, and now we got Mississippi, honey. She was Keyshawn the last couple episodes, but Mississippi is back. And they are on tour. And shout out to the video animating team. I think this was they called video animators, who put together that fly-ass music video. What? Oh my. It was so good. Like, first of all, the song Champagne, Campaign, Champagne, Campaign. Champagne, campaign, champagne, campaign. I think I got the right melody. It was a good song, okay, and the music video was fire. So I was here for their whole little tour, and just seeing Mississippi and Lil Murda's friendship, it was really sweet. They're giving me brother and sister, like we get along and we are there to support each other. And I really, really love the chemistry between those two actors. So good together. I love their scenes together. And so this episode, we see Pico punk ass. So this is the one that last season found out about Lil Murda and Uncle Clifford. And so now he making little digs here and there, talking about Lil Murda's next mixtape gonna be Trade Tales, and the exec at the record label kind of looking at him like, what you trying to insinuate? Kind of give him the side eye. And then a girl walks up and it's like trying to get Lil Murda attention, a little groupie. And so the girl kind of bumps past Pico, and Pico was like, hey bitch, and was just being really disrespectful. And so Big Teak, the homeboy that just came out of jail, Lil Murda's BFF, he is like, you know what I'm saying, don't disrespect the women out here. And so Pico says, you know, I don't even know why you worry about, you ain't his type, no way. And so Lil Teak, I feel like he kind of know what Pico was trying to hint at. And so they get to fighting, and then it ends up with them shooting. And so the record exec, I keep forgetting his name, y'all, but he ain't shit. He gonna try to leave Lil Murda and Big Teak. Boy, what? Ain't gonna try to leave with Mississippi. I don't trust him for nothing. And so Big Teak and Lil Murda get in the hearse, and I feel like it's some foreshadowing, because this is the second time we done seen Big Teak in that hearse, laid on his back. The first time pretending to die, and now the second time actually being hurt and having blood on him, but he wasn't dead. Some foreshadowing. I feel like we eventually gonna get a shot of Big Teak dying in that hearse. Mark my words, y'all. I'm calling it now, okay? I know some foreshadowing when I see it, okay? Can't get nothing past me. Except for names. Okay. And then we end up getting this really heartwarming scene with Big Teak and Lil Murda sitting on the stairs at this little rundown hotel. And again, the cinematography. The way they shot this scene, it was at a dirty old motel, but they used the lighting so well that you could still very much see the actors' faces. You could see their facial expressions. You could see when they were emoting. There was a little bit like of a gold yellowish hue that just, it made the scene so serene. But because they were also at this really like rundown motel, and then they were talking about some of the things they experienced in prison, and how Big Teak was in the hole and solitary, and Lil Murda, you know, helped him out of his darkest moments by just sending him his raps. It was a very heartwarming scene. And to me, it really kind of spoke to how there can be so much love and compassion and friendship between these two men that are outwardly very like hardcore, and they're, you know, and gang affiliated and rappers, and did time in jail and all these very dark things. but there's still beauty in their friendship. That's at least how I looked at the lighting of it and how this scene was shot. It was beautiful. But just to see their friendship, we know that Big Teak probably knows that Lil Murda is gay, but I think he's respecting Lil Murda in allowing him to come out on his own time and when he wants to. But Big Teak definitely has his back, and he don't play about Lil Murda. So I love their friendship. I'm glad we got a little bit more about Big Teak this episode because I really do like him. Still don't know why we got that big epic introduction to him last episode because we didn't know nothing about that Negro. But I'm gonna hate when they kill him off later on this season. You know they are. I'm calling it. Last but not least, we got our girl Mercedes. She had a lot going on in this episode. We see that Mercedes is not making very much money at all at the Pink at this point because she can no longer go on the main stage. So basically, Uncle Clifford is like, no ma'am, not with your shoulder the way it is. No, we're not about to risk it again. So she's not on the main stage anymore. So I'd assume most of her money is probably going from like table dances, private dances. So she really ain't getting that much money. You know, the new girls are there. People are loving them. Roulette is being shady, talking about, you know, your bag is half full, not half empty. I'm an optimistic bitch.
Ooh, this motherfucker playing with me.
Girl, don't try it. Okay, before Mercedes put a root on your ass. We notice what this season is dark now. So Mercedes, you know, realizes that she ain't gonna be able to make it on the little bit of money that she making at the Pink right now. You know, bills are stacking up. She still is trying to get a new place for her dance studio. Y'all remember last season, Coach, you know, offered her to kind of basically be his paid side piece, and she wasn't having it. So this time she called him and was like, you know, I want to get a sponsorship, you know, and he was like, well, a sponsorship ain't all it's cracked up to be. And she was like, well, you was trying to sponsor me last year. And he was like, well, I still am, you know, if you down for it. And so basically Mercedes is like, you know, I'm willing to consider it, but your wife has to be okay with it too. And so he's like, why you want to get my wife involved? And she was like, because I'm not trying to have no beef. She said, it's a reason why wife rhymes with knife. I don't play that. And I respect it, okay? And so she meets up with the Coach's wife. And first of all, Mercedes was looking bomb amazing. The wife was looking bomb amazing. And see, and then we're going to go back to these colors. So remember earlier I brought it up. This time we have Mercedes meeting the wife in this beautiful red dress. We got red and white again. So we have Mercedes in red. We have the wife in white. You know, white's supposed to be pure. I'm innocent, very demure. I don't really do anything, whatever. I don't know. I could be reading too much into the colors, but that's just what I do. That's what I do. So I thought it was funny because the actor that's playing the Coach this season is not the same actor from last season. So when Mercedes sees the Coach in person again, she's like, oh my God. And he was like, what? She's like, you look different, not in the dark light. And I thought that was cute. You know, they kind of a wink to the audience that this is a different actor. We recognize it. The only issue I had with that, even though it was a cute little scene, was that she had just got done FaceTiming the Coach. So she knew what he looked like. So I don't know why we had that. I don't know if it was a continuity error or they just forgot when they were writing it because they wanted to put that little joke in there. I don't know, but it didn't really make sense. But I got what they were trying to do. So basically, the Coach's wife is not really feeling Mercedes. You know, she calls Mercedes a hoe. And she's like, you know, you're not the first girl that he has done this with. I don't know why you wanted to meet me. And Mercedes is like, you know, I got some morals about me. You know, I'm a respectable girl. And the wife was like, respectable? Are you? And so she was pretty much just kind of just being shady to Mercedes. But I kind of felt like, you're there because you want to meet her and you have her signing all these NDAs and this contract and this, that, and the third, all these different rules. Obviously, you okay on some level what your husband is doing. Why even give all the attitude? You can say no. And Mercedes said that. You know, the wife was like, well, what if I had said no? And Mercedes said, I would have respected your no. So you had the opportunity to say no. I don't know why you're acting so stank with Mercedes at this point. But it don't last for long because once Coach asked Mercedes to do some tricks on the pole that he has in the condo, which is Mercedes' condo at this point. Okay, I guess if you're going to be the side chick, get some benefits, honey. So she starts to perform and Diamond's ritual didn't really take as well as we thought because that shoulder was still shaky. Girl, you probably got a slap tear with a partial rotator cuff injury, because I had one of them and my arm was jacked up. Okay, go to the doctor. Mercedes, get it checked out, child. You're probably gonna need surgery. And Diamond's rituals ain't gonna cure it, okay? And all your guilt and remorse, baby, you're gonna need to go under the knife. Anyway, and so she was able to drop it low, pick it up slow enough that the coach's wife took her clothes off and they had a little menage a trois. So at this point, Mercedes is just, you know, doing what she got to do to get her coin up. And I guess she feel like, you know, she did it on her own terms. But I know this is not what she wants for herself and for her life. So I don't know how much longer she's going to, you know, be the paid side chick and mistress for Coach. But so far, she getting paid, I forget how much money they said, but she getting paid a pretty penny, a nice little allowance weekly, and she gets to live in this fly-ass condo. So she might let Autumn stay in her apartment, you know. She gonna be in a condo, so it is what it is. We'll see how it goes. But this was a really good episode. Like I said, I loved the writing of it, the direction of it, the way it looked, like all the slow motion shots in between a lot of the dance performances was so amazing. They did it so well because it could have looked very cheesy, but it looks very artistic in how they did it. Like, this was just a really good episode. So it looks like things are gonna be heating up next episode. You know, if you were into this episode because it didn't have any of the supernatural stuff and none of like the witchcraft, well, Diamond is coming back next episode, and it looks like he's bringing the spirits with him. So he's coming back to the pink. We look like we got Andre and his wife having confrontation. He's throwing shit at her. He done lost his damn mind. It looks like we got Big Teak maybe getting into some kind of scuffle, some kind of fight. It's just a lot going on. So I am looking forward to the next episode of P-Valley. So let me know in the comments below what you thought about this episode. What was your favorite part? And do y'all think that Big Teak is going to end up being killed at the end of this season? I'm calling it now. I think that's what the foreshadowing is about. Somebody going to die and end up in that hearse, and I think it's going to be him. But let me know in your comments below. And as always, y'all, like this video, share this video, subscribe to my channel. And I'm going to see y'all next week for episode 4 of P-Valley. Thank y'all so much for y'all support, and I'm going to see y'all next time.
Hey, look, I talk my shit and keep it honest, keep it independent. I hear them hating, but that's only cause they inconsistent. He said the weapon wouldn't prosper, now they would.